Happy Wednesday, Harbor Hawks fans. I'm Matt Coates, joined with Jason Boué and special guest Cole Velis, baseball operations intern with the Hyannis Harbor Hawks. So guys, last night we didn't get a game in. We had the scheduled off day. Tonight, the Harbor Hawks, 7-6-1 record, take on the Harwich Mariners of a 9-5 record. First time we face Harwich this season. They're a pretty good team, Cole. What do you expect from this game?
Well, Harwich pitching has been pretty good. They're kind of as a Division III player myself, they have a collection of non-D1 guys, couple D3 starters, couple JUCO starters who have made their wave tonight, and we're going to see a JUCO arm tonight in Bostic. But I mean, the pitching's been the tail of the tape for them, so hopefully Cam Smith stays hot, the offense stays hot, and Hyannis puts them up early and keeps them there.
And Cole just mentioned Cam Smith staying hot. Let's talk about the game 2 nights ago. We went to Falmouth on the 26th, came away with a 3-1 victory. Jason, Cam Smith is awesome. Talk about the team's performance in that big win.
Yeah, the team just looked great. Cam Smith, second game getting player of the game, second game in a row. He almost hit for the cycle. He was a single short, which is probably maybe the easiest one to miss on. I don't know, but he's just been on fire, leading the team. And when we talked to Coach the other day, he was saying the team's had an issue getting behind early. That wasn't the case the other day. Cam Smith, the leadoff home run on the first pitch he saw, made sure Hyannis got out to an early lead. Then the pitching was dominant, as it has been a lot of the season so far. Just able to hold on that win. It was a good win. Hopefully they can build today. Stack those wins, as Coach likes to say.
Yeah, pitching was phenomenal. Only one run the entire game. Seems to be a trend. When the team's doing well, it starts with the pitching. They've been excellent all season, and we saw that against Falmouth the other day. So, let's talk about today. Jason, let's look at our starting pitchers for the day.
Yeah, so today for Hyannis on the mound, we got Hayden Frank out of Lipscomb. This year at school, he had 24 appearances, only one start, a 40.1 inning pitch, 4 saves, 2.45 ERA, less than a walk in hit per inning. So pretty good stuff there. 10.1 K.9 at school. And then on the Cape, he hasn't made a start yet until today, but he's had 4 appearances, 3.48 ERA, 10.1 innings pitched, 7 strikeouts, 10 hits. So he's been doing pretty well. We'll see how long he can go in his first start of the season. But on the other side for Harwich, Cole already mentioned him, Josh Bostic out of Grayson County College in Denison, Texas. 11 appearances and 10 starts, 2 complete games, so a little longer arm there for them. But he had 60 innings pitched, 2.52 ERA, 103 strikeouts for 15.28 K per 9. So pretty good. He's made 2 starts so far on the Cape with a 4 ERA, but 11 strikeouts, only allowed 5 hits. So should be a good matchup today on the bump. We'll see if the Hyannis offense can handle Bostic.
Yeah, obviously our first time seeing Harwich, so our first time seeing Bostic. Cole, I'm looking at these stats. At school, 103 strikeouts, 2 complete games. Those are some pretty jarring numbers for this guy. What do you see out of him and for this pitching matchup overall?
I mean, he's a super big, hard-throwing guy, right? So a big part of Cape baseball is how well your guys are going to handle velocity, and so far we've been pretty good in that department. Sometimes, on a guy like this who's high strikeouts, sometimes there's some volatility there. So hopefully it's, hey, put together good at-bats, let's stay inside the zone, not make big chases. But I think this Hyannis offense is more than capable of getting that job done and kind of handling the velo.
And hopefully they handle the velocity tonight, because we could really use another win. Just talked to Coach the other night after our victory, brought us 1 game above 500. He's not satisfied yet, though. He said, we've been here before. Time to stack the W's and get a little bit further above 500. So, before we move on, we have 3 releases today. Billy Amick, Jay Driver, and Daniel Trumper have all been released. No surprises here. I mean, this is just how Cape baseball works. We've had guys come in, come out, but those 3 guys, don't expect to see them anymore this season for the Harbor Hawks. Now, if you've not noticed already, Cole clearly knows what he's talking about when he's asking these questions. Baseball operations intern. Cole, talk about a little bit, tell the people watching, what do you do this summer?
Yeah, so my role and the role of the 10 or so operations interns we have is to effectively assist Nick Johnson, the general manager, in building the roster, player evaluation, roster spacing. So, hey, who's coming in, who's coming out when, and then also with the scouting reports. You see the guys looking at scouting reports in the dugout. We put together that, especially Calvin Hoffman and Jack Hargrove are unbelievable on that front. But that's kind of the team effort there, is to make sure we all are on common ground when evaluating players and are on the same page of where we want to be roster-wise, and trying to build an identity within the team that's not kind of a hodgepodge of good players thrown together, but a hodgepodge of great players who fit together. And I think so far we've been a little banged up, a little whatever, but this roster, we think we've done a nice job putting together good people and good players. And that's made for, even with the injuries and even with kind of catching our ground, game over, and should be all uphill from here.
So we have a bigger baseball ops department compared to the rest of the league. How do you think that helps our team?
Well, there's a lot of times where, maybe a guy gets pushed across and the first person who sees it goes, I don't think, I don't know that this is our guy. And then the next guy checks and maybe he's lukewarm, and then the third person checks and they're all in. And then it becomes a conversation, whereas it's not one person's opinion, but Nick always says, like, we work by democracy. And that, I think, is important to all of us in the sense that, like, your voice is going to be heard. You're going to make an impact. Even, we're all young. We're 20, 21 years old at best. So we all kind of have a voice, and I think collectively we're one collective brain is better than a bunch of 10 individuals. So I think it's played to our strengths big time and helped us roster a lot.
Very interesting stuff as you see here. We talked about the 3 releases. Cole and the rest of the operations department is at the forefront of that, making sure the roster has enough people, enough pitchers, enough players. Really interesting stuff, really important stuff to make sure we have a capable roster to go out and win games. We have no starting lineups for tonight, and let's go back to the game the other night. We talked about him a little bit. Cole, Cam Smith, we're looking at his stats. First 9 games of the season, under 200. After the game 2 nights ago, 270. What has led to this big turnaround for him?
Well, so the adjustment in the lineup too, the coach's explanation for hitting leadoff is we want Cam to see more fastballs. And if you look at kind of what Cam did at school, he clearly crushed heaters and he can handle velocity. So, and sometimes the off-speed troubles him, but when he gets ahead and counts, I mean, he is truly one of the better hitters in the country. And he's the number 1 shortstop in Florida coming out of high school. Had a solid year at Florida State, and now he had the adjustment period to the wood bat. He saw the higher velocity, and now he's getting on that leadoff spot. Back-to-back games where he's led off with a jack on a homer, or a jack on a fastball rather. So I think the important part is Cam Smith's heating up. He's getting in good counts and seeing those fastballs well, and he's made the adjustments.
Yeah, he clearly has made the adjustment. Batting 270 now, 2 straight first-inning homers, as you mentioned. He's really doing phenomenal things, and hopefully he can keep it going. We've talked about him a lot, Jason. It seems like every game for the past week or so we've been like, Cam Smith, he's a guy who could break out. He has all the tools. We know he can be great, but for a while he wasn't really doing it, and now he is. Mm-hmm. And now, enough of Cam Smith. Maybe he'll win again tonight, but let's go into our predictions for tonight's player of the game against the Harwich Mariners. Jason, we'll start with you.
I think I'm going to go with a guy who I think could have won at some of these other games if not for Cam Smith just playing out of his mind. I'm going to go with Will Taylor out of Clemson, our center fielder. He's been great so far, both defensively and offensively, stacking a couple doubles. He's quick on the base pass, got a strong arm, great defense in center field. I think he's such a complete player for the Harbor Hawks. I think today he's going to have a big day in Harwich.
Yeah, it's a great pick. I think he really can be great. We've talked about him a lot. He's done a lot of great things. Tonight could be the night. Personally, myself, I'm going to go with a pick I don't think it's been mentioned on the show yet. Austin Kelly. He's a catcher, first baseman, started at first base the 26 against Falmouth, and he did pretty good. Cole, I know you're big into the defense. He had a nice pick there defensively. What have you seen out of him so far?
Well, I think Austin Kelly is one of the more undervalued players on the Cape. I mean, he was a Falmouth release that we got real excited about when we saw the name come across, and Brody was catching about 5 games in a row at that point, so we figured you got to bring a guy in, and he has just made an impact. I mean, the approach is unbelievable. He clearly can handle the velocity, the left-handed bat, and the adjustment to first base. He's never played there. This is a brand new thing. The coaches said, "Hey, what do we have?" Call the coach at Lipscomb. They say, "Hey, he'll play wherever. He's a gamer, right?" So we sick him over there. He did forget to hold the guy on at one point, but overall, a really good game at first base for him. He's one of my favorite players. But my pick for player of the game, the night off last game, I'm going Mike Sirota. I mean, he's a real 2024 draft eligible day 1 talent. He has been here before. He had an exceptional Cape season last year with us, and I think it's only a matter of time until he really gets going. I think tonight's the night that he heats up.
Yeah, I think that's a great pick. Jason, we've seen it. Sirota's been awesome so far for us
player
since
of the
he's been
game
here.
already.
He has
that
already
walk-off win. That's great.
Already had a player of the game for us. Definitely one of the better players on the team in terms of his capability and what he can do. So great pick here. All right, Cole, thank you so much for joining us. That's all we have for tonight. Jason, of course, thanks for being the co-host tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you guys for watching. Go Hawks.
Go Hawks.